In this video, it's the HyperGo. This is the H14BM. Brushless 2 and 3S capable, 4-wheel drive, 14th scale monster truck. This thing might be really hot. This might be a really good truck. We're gonna get it out of the box, check it out, drive it, review it, bash it, see how it does. Let's start by getting it out of the box. Seriously, look at all that. This is like, it's like the box they just kept giving. Every time I'd open something else, more stuff would fall out. That's wild. That's a lot of stuff in that little box. Obviously, we have the truck itself here, which is feeling really nice. We'll get into that in a minute. It comes with a spare whole body, which is awesome. Clearly, we have a controller. Pretty basic controller. We have off, 70 and 100% throttle ranges. Couple auxiliary buttons. We have a steering trim and a throttle trim, and a warning here that says if it doesn't want to connect, check your throttle trim, because that's very important. Bottom of the controller here where the batteries go in, it's got a screw. I hate this. This is like a leftover thing from like the 1980s. We don't need screws down there anymore. It's just not a thing. We don't need that. And you see how that closes without the screw in it? So then you take the screw out, you throw it away, and you never ever use a screw ever again. Two AA's is what you need in order to get that up and running. A 3S 2000 milliamp LiPo battery. You need to get that bad boy out and get it on the charger. It uses standard balance plug, standard T plug, so most hobby grade chargers will be able to charge this. We have the USB charger that you can use to charge that LiPo battery, a bunch of spare bobby pins, little screwdriver, hex wrench, all pretty standard. It's like it comes with some spare, these look like shock towers maybe, and body posts. It's nice. Here we got in this one, we have control arms, front and rear, upper and lower. That's awesome. And it even says right here, hey, if you happen to run into something, you may break something. And so here we're going to give you some parts included in it. That's super awesome. A whole spare rear wing, which is great because that again is something that can break. Oh, looks like we have optional wheelie bar that we can bolt in right in here. That might be fun to put on. Spare springs, some pins, body wheel nuts, some screws. That's great. And then check this out. Paddle tires. You ever get into some sand? You ever get into some snow? Look at that. Those are some aggressive little paddle tires. I kind of want to try these. I don't have any sand or snow anywhere near me right now, but I kind of want to try these. That looks fun. Have 4 of them, so you can put them on all 4 corners. I bet that thing sends some rooster tails. That would be so much fun. Have a card in here that gives you their website, email, and all that kind of stuff in case you need to get in touch with them. And then, of course, the manual. What I always really focus on with these manuals, they tell you a lot about basics of how to get the car up and running, some of the basic controls. But what I always like to see is this. Yes, here we go. Part numbers and exploded diagrams. So if you do break anything, you have the ability to come in here, see the part number, see how the stuff goes together. That is key. That is very key right there. Good stuff. Look at that. All the spare parts. That is great. Turning our attention to the truck itself, like we said, 2 different bodies. So you can be team gold or you can be team red, white, and black. Looky there, nice oil-filled shocks, no excessive rebound. These tires are about the softest that I've felt on a more budget-oriented truck like this. Those are going to have some very good grip. Let's check out underneath here. We have a whole nother battery here. Dual Velcroed in so that you don't happen to lose it. Yes, it's another 3S 2000 milliamp, so you do get 2 of these in the truck. And it does run with a standard T-style plug. Very common plug, very easy for you to get alternate batteries to run in this vehicle with how they have everything strapped down here. That's a great design. Very useful and very user-friendly. We have a micro servo up here with a 3-wire plug on it. So if this servo does ever go bad on you, you can actually replace it with any other little micro servo like that. That's great news. Ooh, over here it looks like what we have is a standalone ESC. A lot of times in these you will get an ESC 2-in-1 unit. It means if you ever try to upgrade later you have to replace even more parts. But it looks like receiver in this careful protective case up here, ESC down here, 3 wires brushless, 380 size motor with a fan on it to help keep it cool and a heatsink. This is great. Even the ESC has a little fan on it. I'm seeing wires running up here to the front, which means we must have some headlights in here. When I'm looking down here, turnbuckles, nice and beefy turnbuckles. These are adjustable. Honestly, you'll probably never adjust them, but that is just a feature there. Front control arms, nice solid beefy control arms, metal chassis. I'm assuming some piece of either steel or aluminum, typically aluminum for these. And the other thing I'm noticing, telescoping actual universal drive shafts on all 4 corners. What? That's pretty crazy. That's not normally what you would see on a vehicle of this price. Center to center tower chassis brace. This thing looks like it would take an absolute beating and just keep coming back for more. It is built like a tank. This is a crazy amount of stuff that you're getting and a crazy amount of quality that you're getting in a 14th scale truck here. There's a reason why you're getting all this value. This vehicle, when I look at it right now, listed price $199, $25 coupons out there, so basically $175, which puts it at the top end of this 14th scale like budget basher price range and bracket. So, you know, a lot of the vehicles that this thing is going to have to go up against are in that like just over $100 range. So it's got to offer all of this stuff to justify that higher price point. But it looks like it may be warranted. I'm going to get the battery charged. I'm going to get batteries in this controller. We need to get out there and bash this thing and drive it and see, does it stand up to the price point? Is it worth it? Wheels turn. Oh my gosh. Whoa. This is going to be fun. Oh my gosh. Whoa. That thing has got some power. One of the questions that people ask all the time, will it drive in grass? That's not even a question here. Now, I'm going to be honest. My grass is a little short, recently mowed, and it's in the winter, so it's starting to die down. But this thing has so much power. Not even a question. Oh my gosh. People often say, will it do a wheelie? I think it will. Let's just see. So it's got good speed. It goes through the grass easy. It'll easily do a wheelie. Let's go jump it and see how it jumps. Can it do a backflip? I think it might. I think it has it in it. Let's just hit it flat out, see what happens. Oh my gosh, that was up there. That was way, way up there. Oh, I did a backflip and I didn't even mean to. Oh, that was a hard hit. Oh, and it drives away. Look at that. Back from the test run, and all I gotta say is, wow, this thing is intense. It has the traction, it has the power, it has the durability. You saw me, I mean, I had some pretty nasty crashes out there. And I've come back and I've looked over the whole truck. It's completely fine. It's completely fine. The shocks are good. The control arms are good. I had some pretty nasty hits on the body. Body's fine. Lights still work. Like, everything's good. Really, really happy with how that thing drove. The power is good. The durability is good. There really is two things on this truck, though, that I think they could improve overall. And depending on how you drive and what you're going to do with it, it really may not even be that big of a difference. First thing I noticed was, man, it really wanted to come up on two wheels. And part of that's because it has these higher traction tires. It's going to traction roll more. Part of that's because of that big power. You get it up, these tires balloon and expand, and it gyroscopes a little bit. So you got to be careful with it. If you hand this off to someone who has never driven before, they're going to be crashing a lot, potentially shredding these tires, and potentially be walking a lot to flip it back over, because it's going to always be like that, and they're going to have to go get it back over. So that is one thing to watch. This thing, if it was like a half an inch to an inch wider total, I think this thing would be an absolute monster and would handle amazing. I would love to see that conversion where it's just a little bit wider. The second thing is that it has a lot of ESC softening, throttle softening in the programming of it. What that means is you grab a bunch of throttle and the ESC is like, hey, I hear you. You want to go faster. I'll be with you in a minute. And then a second or two later, you get all this power rush in. It's not this just immediate throttle hit. It's this like roll ramp of power that comes in. Honestly, that probably, for a lot of folks, that's a really good thing. It keeps the vehicle more durable because you don't have that big power just hit to the whole driveline. But when you're in the air or when you're trying to drive and you're trying to catch the throttle on it, it makes the truck a little bit less predictable. And I found myself in some situations really going like, I have to predict what the car is going to do in a couple seconds, not what I want it to do right now. A simple ESC swap in this, which would not be hard since everything's standalone, simple ESC swap would make a huge difference in how this thing works. This may be one of the best entry-level 14th scale brushless little trucks that you can get. There are vehicles that are a lot cheaper. Usually they're not brushless. Usually they don't have some of the features that this one does. You're paying that little bit extra premium to get all that extra stuff that was in that box. You're kind of paying for that on the front side. So in that essence, it's really a pretty good deal. Now, is this the vehicle that you really, really want? That's a great question. I think depending on your situation and how you're going to drive and where you're going to drive, maybe it is, maybe it's not. To help you answer that question, I have a playlist that's going to pop up to your right here. All my vehicle reviews, most popular vehicles that I've ever reviewed, popping up right here to your right. Check those out there, and maybe that'll help you make your decision. Thank you, and goodbye.